What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Well, back under the truck. We have a nasty transmission fluid leak. You'll have that when you nick the coolant lines with a cutoff wheel. So I want to address that. But since we're under here, I want to finish welding this exhaust, tend to this rusting issue. And since building these trucks, everything has to be so tight and compact. This exhaust is pretty close to the starter, close to those transmission cooler lines, close to the floor, close to the oil filter. So we're going to try to keep that heat down a little bit. I think first we get that exhaust out of our way. Which one do we want to start with? I'll say this one. You know what would be nice is if we can get this exhaust out without taking this transmission cross member down. Kind of thinking probably not, but we're gonna try. Hey, remember that one time I took this exhaust down and I didn't have to? Yeah, that was dumb. Man, look at this already. So I had no idea how this exhaust was gonna go. So I decided just to do it out of steel first, and then we'll replace it with stainless someday. Probably should have just done it right off the bat, but well, here we are. Dang it. We're gonna have to take that transmission cross member down for sure. We'll unbolt this other side, the exhaust, and then we'll do that. It's actually really nice with these Flowtech headers. On the collector, it's threaded. So at least we don't have to worry about nuts and bolts. Just bolts. The other cool thing about that is that when we get these all tight, we can put a nut on top and then it'll be basically double nutted. We'll keep these tight if we wanted. Have I ever told you guys how much I love being underneath a car like this? It's my favorite. Full of shit. It sucks. Uno más. Uno más. I'm not mad about taking this cross member out. It hasn't been primed or painted or nothing, so it'd be a good time to do that. Oh, watch out for falling transmissions. We gotta do something about that. All right, much better. Don't gotta worry about that doing anything we don't want it to do. Okay. All right. Be careful. Careful. Oh, all right. Other side. I'm gonna finish taking this bolt out. Let me know if any of this is gonna fall down and hit me in the noggin, okay? Counting on you guys. I really don't want to get hit in the head with this exhaust. here we go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. Ah. Boom, got it. Let's get out of here. We gotta get out of this place. There's a better place. Whoops. Look how nasty that got already. And that was just basically from sweaty palms. Look at these horrible welds. Wasn't trying to weld it up solid, just getting it tacked together well on my back under the truck. But that's why we got it out. We're gonna fix it. All right, we're gonna play a little bit on the wild side. A little dangerously. Tempt fate. Test fate. I don't know how that saying goes. We're gonna try to avoid about 2,000 little metal strands that like to fly off of this and stab you and stick in your clothes. But we gotta get this rust off. Well, survived. I'm not stuck with too many of those. Let's get some of that high heat silver on those. And of course, now that I want to paint out there, it's going to start raining. Ooh. You get some silver paint on some ugly welds and they look really ugly. That's right though, it just needs to hold together and not leak. While that paint is drying, I think we'll work on this cross member a little bit. Get the rust off of it, prime it, paint it. But it looks like I have not put a gusset on here like I want to. So I'll have to weld a little triangle gusset in there. I wonder if this will work. Not without some trimming, but it'll work. So I just went ahead and cleaned up that cross member, threw some primer on it, and a little bit of paint. And it's out in the paint booth right now curing. What I have here is a titanium exhaust wrap. This will help prevent the exhaust heat from heating up anything that we don't want heated up. With the normal exhaust wrap, you'd want to soak it in water before doing this. But this titanium stuff, you really don't need to. What I'm going to do is fold the end 45, 45. Just get a nice little end to start with. Looking at the edges, we got kind of a frayed, ugly side. Then we got a nice side. We're going to leave that nice side where it's going to be the exposed side. Where I don't have a bolt going through, I'm going to start there because I don't want it to be super thick there because I'll end up having issues getting a socket on it. We're going to wrap it around, keep it real tight, go around again, overlapping about a quarter of it. Now I got that to a good spot. I'm going to put a temporary zip tie on just to keep that nice and tight and where we want it. What I've found is kind of start throwing it around it, because this stuff has a tendency to twist up on you as you're wrapping it. I already did the other exhaust pipe. A little concerned we might not have enough for this one, but fingers crossed. Just gonna work my way all the way down this exhaust pipe here, pulling it as tight as I can. If you're not making noises and making goofy faces, you're not doing it tight enough. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna have enough. We'll go as far as we can with this one and then order more if I want. We're not gonna be that much too short. We've already gotten past all the stuff I was concerned about. This is just gonna be under the floor, kind of under the seat. We got all that sound deadening that'll help control the heat too. So I don't know. Yeah, that's all we got. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. We'll end it here, and if I ever want to do this extra little bit, we'll order some more and we can do it under the truck. So I'm going to take this end and it's really frayed real bad. So I'm going to trim that off. And I'm going to fold it so it's real nice. Pull that tight. Put another temporary zip tie on it. This is a stainless zip tie. This exhaust wrap actually came with some. Now these things can be kind of a pain in the butt to get tight. Unlike a zip tie that we're used to, that has almost kind of a ladder type system or ratchet kind of thing. It's got a little tab in the head and it grabs a hold of the ridges here. These stainless ones have a little ball on the end. So when you wrap it around it, you put it right into the end there and pull it tight. Problem is it's super hard to get it tight because with that ball in there, when you pull it tight, it's actually got to release it a little bit until that ball catches. So here's what I've learned. Pliers and a little tiny flathead. Grab a hold of it with the pliers, put the flathead in there on that ball, pull it tight. And that holds the ball in there so it doesn't release itself a little bit. We're nice and tight. And cut the excess off, but not flush. About an inch out. Then I actually fold it, try to stick it in there. Look at that. Nice. On the end we do the same thing, but since that's an end that can unravel, I like to use like a mechanic's wire to wrap it around it a few times and make it real tight. I prefer using a stainless hose clamp. Unfortunately, I don't have one right now. I had one, it's on the other side, but I don't have a second one for this one, so I just doubled up the stainless zip ties here. I'll toss a hose clamp on that later on. But for now, we're gonna get this one in there. New day, new project. Actually, we should finish what we started yesterday. Then we can move on to something else. So here's the other side I did already. Anyway, I can't wait to get these up in there so we can move on. Oh no, I forgot to grab a gasket. I'll be back. You know what one of the worst parts about climbing around under here is? I see all the stuff that needs to be done yet. Right, those are done. You know what's gonna drive me nuts? Just because I know that it's this way. This exhaust strap stopping here, but going down to here. Just for now. Be all right. Well, I suppose we can put that cross member back in. So with that exhaust strap, there is another step. You can spray a silicone spray on it, which will kind of seal it up. But I like the color of this titanium stuff, and I've only seen that in black, white, and like aluminum. And since you'll be able to see that if you look straight down in the engine bay, I opted to just leave it. Well, we can mark those off our list. Won't be needing those reading glasses anymore. I don't think I've had my eyes checked since I was in 6th grade. That was like 35 years ago. That's a lot of years. So yeah, progressive lenses and the start of cataracts. Getting old. Now we can start a new project. So the reason those transmission lines leak is because I nicked them with the cutoff wheel. And the reason I cut them with a cutoff wheel is because there was no room in the transmission tunnel for those lines to come out of the transmission when we put the engine and trans in. So you can see right here where I put a little bump out for them. And that would have worked just fine if I didn't nick them with the dang cutoff wheel. But there's not enough room to take those off and replace them. So that means we're cutting into this floor again. We'll just cut this sound denter out around it with a razor blade, get rid of that, cover all this up. Because the last thing we want to do is screw that up and have to redo that. I should have taken it out a long time ago and put it in my office, but I like to see it kind of done. Anyway, then we'll cut this bump out. That way we can get at those lines from up top here. And then we'll build the floor up around it again. We got a little bit of rust repair to do in the sill here anyway. So we'll have the welder in here. For today though, I'm just worried about replacing those lines and getting them hooked up to a transmission cooler that we'll put up front here behind the grill. I was actually thinking in this one. All right, we'll try to make this quick and painless. So instead of cutting all 4 sides, I cut 3. We'll see if we can just kind of peel that over. Yeah, if we could do that, then we just need to make it bump out on 3 sides. And we'll just leave that one side connected. Well, crap. Needed to go up a little bit higher. That's okay, we can work around that. We can get at them now. That sucks to have to do that. But look at what I did to these things. Oh. Well, I ended up just cutting the whole thing out. It'd be a whole lot easier. Got a big old dumb hole in my floor now. We got a transmission cooler right there in front of the radiator. That'll fit behind that grill. It just bolts right up to that core support we made. Fits up there pretty nice, actually. Just got to get these adapters on it. A little extra, better than not enough. All right, we'll see if this grill still fits. Money. Well, I'd say that cooler worked out really well. Too bad we had to do that though. But that's how it goes. We're basically designing this truck as we go, making everything work together. I think we can go ahead and put this thing back on the ground. But first, a great part building custom cars. Crossing stuff off the list. Now those cooler lines, they're not permanently installed. We still got to route them a permanent way. I kind of went a way that I thought would be good around the exhaust and everything, but they're hooked up for good. So they're getting crossed off the list. I'm exhausted. That was dumb. Check out the channel memberships for early access to videos and some extra content. ltscustomgarage.com for t-shirts and pinstripe art. I do appreciate you just hanging out though. If you had fun today, you'll probably have fun in this one too. I'll see you there.